Good morning, guys. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Bismillah. Let's
Yes, Mr. Good morning.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, guys. Let's get started. Lesson 6.5. We have product, and we took the quotient of two complex numbers, and now powers, and also we studied powers, which is de Beauvoir's theorem that powers are to the power of n is here like this one. Z to the power of n is of any complex number r equals z equals r cosine theta plus I sine theta. It should be here, as you see, guys. It's r to the power of n, r to the power of n cosine n theta plus I sine theta. So we solved also this question yesterday, example number 7, and here this one also checkpoint number 7. In example 8, 1 plus I to the power of 8. Find 1 plus I to the power of 8. Using de Beauvoir's theorem, write the answer in rectangular form. Yes, in rectangular form. Okay, first of all, we have to find one. Using de Beauvoir's theorem. We have to find the r. We have to write the z equals r cosine theta plus I sine theta. So my goal is to write the complex number as r into cosine theta plus I sine theta. So simply I will find first r. The r here is the square root of a squared plus b squared equals what? The square root of a squared means 1 squared, and then here plus b squared, which is also 1 squared, such that a is the real part and here is what? B. The squaring of 1 and 1 is what? Radical 2. So this is the r. To find the angle theta, it's based on tan theta is equal to what, guys? Is equal to y over x. Y over x. What is y here? Or b over a. What is b? What is y? The imaginary part, which is 1 over 1 and gives 1. The angle here, theta, in the first quadrant, as you see in this figure, 1 and 1. This is 1 and 1. Okay?
Yes.
And the radius is, or the distance r here is radical 2. So the angle is 45. Theta equals 45 degrees, or we can write it as pi over 4. Yes, we'll continue, guys, here. But we have the angle is pi over 4. Let's write here the number of the complex number z is equal to the r, which is radical 2. The r, which is radical 2. Z, which is
radical 2 into cosine
into here cosine the angle, which is
pi over 4 plus I sine pi over 4. Yes.
Yes. So guys, you can write with me. You can concentrate by writing in your math copybook. You can bring a copybook, paper and pencil, calculator, and then sit in your desk and start to solve question by question, be step by step. It will be better for you. Study at the same time without attending the classes. One time. So here is the number written in what form? In what in polar
polar
polar form. هو مكتوب كده polar form. The question is asking us now to find the z to the power of 8. Z to the power of 8. Yeah, according to the Demoivre's theorem, he would like to find z to the power of 8, radical to the power of 8, and then cosine the angle pi over 4 times
times 8
times 8, right? Times 8, and
plus
then
I
كمل plus I, and then
Sine
sine
pi
pi over 4, but
Sine.
now times what? Times the 8. يبقى you have to square يعني خليها power 8 اللي هو ال R to multiply each angle by 8 or by n. Sorry. Radical 2 to the power of 8. Yes. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 4 2's, right? 4 2's, which is 16. Right? Yes. 16. And here cosine 8 times pi over 4 gives 2 pi plus I sine also here 2 pi. Yes, with me guys? Hey, grade 11B, wake up.
Okay.
Yes. So here is 16 cosine 2 pi. What is cosine 2 pi? In the calculator also. Cosine 360 equals 1 plus I, and then sine 2 pi. Sine 2 pi. Here is sine 2 pi. Find the exact value of sine 2 pi and 0, right?
0, yes.
So it's 16 times 1. Distributive property gives 16 times 1. 16 plus 16 times 0 is 0. I. He's asking you to leave your answer in rectangular form A plus B. So the A now is 16 and the B is 0. So A is the real part, 16, and the B here represents the imaginary part, which is 0. Yes.
0.
Any question? Question, guys?
No, clear.
Is it easy, guys, or not? Yes. Sibai, yeah, thank you. The rest, guys?
Yes, Mr. Easy.
Okay, next. Because it's easy, I'm gonna ask Talal to solve file checkpoint number 8. Will you find
Okay.
Yes, Talal. 1 plus I to the power of 4.
Okay, first we'll put first we'll find R and the theta.
حلو جدا. R
equals what was it? A squared plus B squared, radical A squared plus B squared. I is B and 1 is A.
Square root of A squared,
plus B squared.
A squared plus B squared, and then yes.
Then A squared is 1 squared plus 1 squared. And I is 1. So 2 radical 2.
Okay, so it's A squared plus B squared. A is 1, right?
1 squared plus 1 squared.
1 squared
equals radical 2.
Okay, لا radical 2. طيب then tan
okay, then find theta. Tan theta equals y over x equals b over a.
Equals b over a.
So equals 1 again. And then
well, 1 again. So
then
the angle here is
pi over 4.
Yeah, pi over 4, which is 45. Tan inverse of 1 gives 45. Okay, great job, Mr. Talal.
Okay, now we'll make z to the power 4 equals okay, let's write the equation first. Z power 4 equals r to the power 4.
Z equals r into cosine the angle theta plus I sine theta. This is the complex number in polar form.
Yes, but z here is equals z is to the power 4.
لا خلينا نكتبها اللي
طب okay, as you like.
Cosine pi over 4, then plus I. This is my complex number.
Yes.
I sine pi over 4. This is z only. To find z to the power of 4.
So put r power 4.
Radical 2 power
4. Then cosine pi over 4 times 4.
Cosine
Cosine pi over 4 times 4. Yes. cosine pi over 4 multiplied by 4.
and
Yes.
then plus
Plus I sine pi over 4 times 4.
pi over 4 times what? Times 4.
4.
We're gonna cross out here 4 with 4 and 4 with 4, and so easy
It
now.
equals pi.
Radical 2 to the power of 4, which is 2.
1 second. Yeah.
2 or 4?
Wait, let me check.
4.
2, Mister. Oh no, 4, yes, 4.
Okay, radical 2, radical 2, radical 2, radical
Yes, 4.
2, so 2 and
4.
2, so
And
it's 4.
yes.
Okay. Yes, cosine
4 cosine pi plus I sine pi.
plus I sine pi and
Cosine pi is wait,
Negative 1.
negative 1, yes.
excellent, negative
And
1
sine
plus
pi
I,
0.
And
sine
sine
the
pi
calculator is 0.
is 0.
So 4 times negative 1 is negative 1. It's what? It's
Negative
negative
4.
0, so equals negative 4 plus 0 I.
Yes.
0
So,
I, so
A is negative 4 and B is
yes,
0.
nice. Now, roots of complex numbers. Pay attention, please, in polar form. In example 7, yes, where? Here, which is 2 into cosine 20 plus I sine 20, all to the power of 6. Yes, as you know, in example 7, we showed that 2 had an example equals 64. Yes. Yes, we say that in 2, cosine 20 plus I sine 20 is a complex sixth root of, you know, simply guys, if you find the, for example, numbers العادية, مثلا, what is the squaring of what? Of 2? 2 to the power of 2 equals 4. And if we take the square root of 4, gonna give us what?
2. Square root of 4.
The squaring of 2 squared, right? Which is 2. The same here, because in example 7, we showed that 2 into cosine 20 plus I sine 20 to the power of 6, or to the 6th power, gives
Yes.
what? 64 cosine 120 plus I sine 120. So we can say that 2 cosine 20 plus I sine 20 أو 2 into كل اللي inside ده من غير الباور 6 بيكون the sixth root of 64. The sixth root of what? 64 into cosine 120 plus I sine 20. 120. It is one of the six what distinct complex roots of here. Okay. Like in general, if we have z to the power of n equals w, we say that z is the complex nth root of w, and it's one of n distinct nth roots of this number. The theorem, which is the Montvoisin theorem of find the complex what roots. Pay attention, guys. Here, this is the last part in our lesson, and it's the hardest part. Okay, it's not hard, but you have to know these formulas. If we know that w equals r cosine theta plus I sine theta, it's a complex number, polar form, not equal to 0. Yes, with w has distinct complex n roots given by the formula. The roots z subscript k equals the nth root of r into cosine theta plus 2 pi k, and 360 times k. K here is 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is in radicals. Plus I sine theta plus 2 pi k over n. Okay, what is n here? The root in شغال. So the sixth root, the fifth root, the fourth root, the eighth root, like example 8, and so on. In degrees, you know that 2 pi is 360 degrees, k over n. So this important rules you have to know to find أو اسمها the Montvoisin theorem for finding the complex what root, to find what complex what roots. Theta plus 360k over n. Theta plus 360k over n degrees. Okay, yeah, next question. Finding the roots of a complex number. Find all the complex fourth roots. So what is n now? N is 4. Of 16 into cosine 120 degrees plus I sine 120 degrees. write roots in polar form with theta in degrees. يعني قال لك خلاص اشتغل على degrees حتى لو ما قاليش انا اشتغل على degrees because the angle is given in degrees form.
In degrees, yes. So it will be z equal square root of r.
Z equal the square root of the nth root of r open bracket. I prefer guys to write the rule first and then cosine theta plus 2 pi
plus 2 no 360k
like degrees. The 360
k over n
k and this all over what? Wow. Wait. 360k over n then plus I sine معاك theta plus the same 360 degrees
k over n
over what? Over n. Close the bracket. So here the fourth root, so the n is 4. So I'm gonna write here the fourth root
of 16
of what the r, which is 16. And then open bracket here, open bracket like this, and then cosine. We have theta, theta, which is 120 degrees. So the theta is 120 degrees.
plus
So what is the k? We have to find the k when it's 0, when it's 1, when it's 2, and so on till you stop till 4.
yes. So we'll start
the fourth here, when n is 4 and k. And then you will find all these guys. Okay, till 3. Okay, now 3. Yes,
0
less than 360. Okay, so here 120 plus 360. You have to do it, guys. Replace the k by 0 and this all over 4 plus I. Then sine here the angle 120. I will do 1 for you and then I will show for you the rest. Until 360 multiplied by 0 and this all over 4. Yes, when you evaluate this, guys, the fourth root of 16, which is 2
equal cosine 30.
Cosine 0 times 360, 0 times 120 over 4 gives 30.
Cosine 30.
Pay attention, please, guys. Not only Muhammad Sabais responded to the lesson and the other is sleeping.
I'm with you, Mr. I'm with you.
Astaghfirullah.
I'm solving.
Cosine here 120 over 4 is 30. Pay attention, guys. And here I sine, we have also here 360 times 0, 0. And 120 divided by 4 is 30. Okay, this is the first what root. The second root, when we evaluate the fourth root of 16 and then cosine fraction base denominator of 4 and 120 is the angle is constant, but the changeable variable here is the value of k, which is 1 now. Plus I sine, we have 120 plus 360 times
1
over 4. Yes, Muhammad Faris, complete.
Yes, Mr. The fourth root of 16 is equal to 2 into 120 plus 360 over 4.
120 plus 360.
It will be 120.
480 divided by 4 is 120.
120, yes. Plus I sine 120.
120, this is the second root. And then we will find the third root, the fourth root of cosine, and then replace here the value of k by what? By 2. 120 plus 360 times 2. And 2 revolutions plus I sine what? The angle here, which is 120 degrees plus 360 times 2. Okay, so equal 2 also is the fourth root of 16. 120 plus 4 plus 720. Okay. 1040 and then divided by 4 is what?
720
Cosine 240, right?
4 840 over 4.
210, right? Cosine 210 degrees
210, yes.
plus I
210.
sine 210, yes. And so on, guys, until the last one here would be when ليه هنوقف هنشوف now. The fourth root of 16 cosine, complete here, the denominator is still 4 because my fourth root, the n4, 120 degrees plus 360 times 3 عادي بتكمل I, and here sine down 4, and here 120 plus degrees
360 times 3.
360. Okay, 360 here. Okay, Amar Khalid. Multiplied by 3 gives you 300, right? So what do you notice, Amar Khalid, here? That there is a pattern, right? That's the pattern. What do you notice, guys, here? That there is a pattern. It was 30, then 120 in the second quadrant, then 210, then 300. So
That's an increase of 110.
what?
Everyone is increasing 110 degrees.
110 degrees. Okay, so let's check here the answer of the book. Yes, it's
No, Mr. No increase.
Can you stop? طبعا if you substitute it by 4, try كده 360 times 4 and then add 120 and divide it by 4. Yeah, it's increased by 90 يا معلم. 90 and عندك 30 plus 90 is 120 and then plus 90 and so on. As we graphed before here, these equations, right? Okay, so you're gonna let your question like this. Any questions? So here is the all possible roots. All possible roots. We're gonna take only 10 less than 2 pi. Okay, guys. So I have here these roots and then I write and that's the final answer.
مستر عندي سؤال بس.
Yes.
هو أنا دايما بقف عند k equal 3 ولا
No. If you substitute by 4, then continue عادي بس يعني substitute by 4. I will substitute by 3, 4 again. What's the answer? 4 times 360 and then plus 120. Okay, I don't have a calculator, mashallah. There is no calculator in our school. 360 times what? Times 4. Okay, and then here plus 120. And then divide by 4. It's 390. They exceed 360. It's what? 300. Let's see.
لازم تبقى أقل من 360 صح؟
Yes, لازم تبقى أقل من 360.
تمام ماشي. شكرا مستر.
Okay. Next. In figure 6.20.45 which screen, we have plotted each of the fourth roots of 16 cosine 120 plus pi sine 120, and all the roots we found in the previous slide here. Okay, notice that now طبعا ان في 30, right? When it's a cosine 30, and when it's 120, yes. And then when it's what? 210, and then
300.
When it's a 300. يعني so what like what? What's the name of this one, guys? We are using this one to change the multiplier of the curve. Okay? Yes, so like a plus here, times multiplication. This you have to notice that yes. They are equally spaced at 90. And each 90 here, yani the angle between each side and the other one is 90. Okay, and it's a circle top. Plotting the fourth roots of 16%. This is the checkpoint number 5. Let me ask Muhammad. Yes. Mahmoud. Solve checkpoint number 9. Mahmoud al-Ghabbar, right? يلا. Eleven B, 33. You are 33, and only the attendance is 25. Okay, so I'm going to take the absence for today. I will call their parents. Okay, now Hamoud, you are not here. Did you hear me? Okay, يلا start. How to find all the cube roots of 8. Right.
ترى ندو
Will not do checkpoint 9, sir?
Yes, here, so نحسبها. The checkpoint 9 find all complex fourth roots محمود of 16 cosine 60 plus phi sine 60. So the angle here is 60 and the R here is, what's the R?
16.
16. Okay, what's the first step we have to do here to find the root? Z equal, اكتب الرول الأول فكرها, the nth root of R.
Yes.
And then here, say
Cosine R or theta.
theta plus he's asking to find it in degrees, so 360 degrees K over N plus I sine
theta
plus the same
360K over N.
over N.
Yes.
Okay, so let's find here all roots. Substitute 0, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on until we see ممكن 1, 2, 3 بس, ممكن 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ممكن 0, 1, 2, 3 بس. I don't know. تعال نشوف. The n here is 4. Find the fourth root, يعني n is 4.
4.
So the index is 4 of R, which is
16. Into cosine theta, which is 60.
Do it directly here, 60 plus 360 times 0, okay? And this all over 4, and then plus sign, I'm gonna write it again, 60 degrees plus 360 times 0, and this all over 4. Yes. So, what's the fourth root, Mr. Mahmoud, of 60?
1 minute plus.
Mr. beside the second 360 it's 0 also?
0, yes. Now we will start when k is 0.
Yes, 0, then 1.
It's 2, Mister.
2, and then cosine 60 plus 0, 60 قصدي over 4, 60 over 4. Yes. So 1 here, and then 5. Right. مش معايا أنت ولا؟
Yes, yes, Mister.
طيب وبعدين sign what? 15 يا معلم. And leave it. This is the first what? The first root. Complex root. Yes. Next. Also the fourth root, which is 2, and then let's do it quickly. خلاص بدل اللي هو 0, 1 times 360 plus 60 gives what? 420. 420 divided by 4. 420 divided by 4 is 105 degrees. Okay, plus I sine 105 degrees. This all in degrees. هو محتاجها degrees. خلاص. This is the second complex root. The third complex root. لسه ما وصلنا يوسف لل 360 بكمل عادي. So it's 2 cosine. Let's do it here quickly. 60 plus 60 plus 360 times 2.
60 plus
720. 720 and 60, it's 780.
and 80.
حلو. Divided by 4. Divided by 4.
It's 195.
195. Yes, correct. So 195 degrees plus I sine 195 degrees, and this is the third. لسه ما رحناش على ال 360. Yes, complete. The fourth root of 16 is 2 خلاص, and then cosine. Now when k here is 1 and when k here is 2 and when k here is 3 حسبناها. Now when k is 4 and so on. يلا cosine. Substitute k 4. 4 times
60 plus 360 times 4, which is 1500,
dividing 4.
divided 4, which is 375.
375 plus
I sine
sine
375.
375. And this is what? The fourth root.
root.
Okay. طيب 375 which exceed طبعا 360, so we will not use it, right? We will stop here. Can I cancel? Oh, this one. حلو. لأن عندنا 360. We will highlight here شباب الرoots بتاعتي اللي هو طبعا all possible complex roots أو all possible complex fourth roots of 16 cosine 60 plus I sine 60. If you understand anything, raise your hand.
Mr. you have a mistake.
Which one? The last one?
No, Mr. K1 is equals to 0, K2 is 15, no, K0 equals 15, and K1 equals 105.
Yeah, only on writing the K, right?
Yes.
So this is when it's 0. The evaluation step is here, right?
Yes, this is K1. This is K2.
صاحي.
And Mr. Another one, K3, no, Mr. K3 is equals to 285. That's the theta, 285. So you skipped
like
one.
to take bonus, yeah. Okay. So this part here, this is when K0, right? And here when K is 1, right? Okay.
Yes.
And this step here when it's 2.
Yes.
And when it's 3.
3, the theta is 285.
285 يعني حسبناها نسينا 3 يعني.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Talal, right?
Yes, yes.
بقيت الكلاس in the Balala land.
Mister, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Mister, how did we get bigger numbers in each root? Like in the first root, you got cosine 15, and on the second root, we got cosine 105. How did we get it?
Yeah, we simply substitute each line. مرة 4K 0, مرة 1, مرة 2, مرة 3, and so on.
Okay.
So I would like you, Omar, to do here when K is 3. Yani to substitute or plug in 3, 4K. Substitute 3, 4K up here in the formula to find the 1/4 complex root of this number, of this complex number. Yes. So 3 times 360
equal
1000.
1180 ولا لا
1080 plus 60 1140. Yes, use your calculator and divide 4 gives 280. What? 285. We're still less than 360. طبعا لما عملنا substitute K4 ما ظبطت معانا صح؟ فخلاص يبقى زياده يعني اكثر من 360. So thank you Talal. Thank you Omar. Yes, use that finally. Yes, so I have now fourth roots of this complex number. Any question? Because the second period, all guys, will be a competition on this lesson. I'll try, guys, to take this all exercises and plug it on the quizzes.
Yes.
And we'll try to solve. But no.
Okay, we have the sixth period.
I have to
the
do
sixth period.
The sixth period. I don't have enough time to do a multiple choices for this all.
And the competition is the quiz and stuff.
I will try to find a quiz, a really quiz for this topic.
Quizzes, okay.
لو ما لقيتش هحاول ان انا we will make a competition here. I will give you classwork in a specific time to solve it. Okay, how many minutes left here in this? Do we
about 5 minutes. When tenth
I think 10 minutes or 9 minutes.
9 minutes, 8 minutes.
حلو. 9 minutes. So in example 10 and the last example, this lesson, example 10, finding the roots of a complex number also. Yes. Find all cube roots of 8. What? All cube roots of 8? You know only that the cubic root of 8 is what? It's 2. When I say find the cube root of 8, the real one is what? Is 2.
2.
Yes,
So
he's asking here to find all cube roots of 8. Right roots in rectangular form. So as you see here, guys, De Moivre's theorem for roots applies to complex numbers in polar form. So we have to write this 8 in what? In polar form. يعني أصلا when I say find all cubes أو cube roots of 8 أنا هشتغل لازم أحول ال 8 للpolar form. We have to convert ال 8 to polar form.
yes.
And then find its root, or all possible cube roots of 8 by substituting 0, 1, 2, 4k in the expression. So let's get started. يلا معانا الانسر here. Who can answer, guys? Who can help me? And I said the key of the solution. Who can follow these steps? I have to find or write first the 8 as a polar number or complex number in polar form يعني. The 8 plus 8 plus 0 I, right? 8 plus 0 I. So how to find this number? هو كده complex number يعني نسميه مثلا Z بس مش في البولار form في الcomplex form. How to write it in what? In polar form. You have to find the R and you have to find the angle. Yes, Mr. عمر سلام. In the first term كان معانا وبيجاوب كده. In the second term مالك؟ Yes, Omar, talk again. Again, talk. Hello? Omar? Wait يا عم. Thank you, Muhammad. Yes. What is R? Your mic is.
I can't hear him.
Yes. So far. طيب ناخذ حد ثاني على ما عمر يصلح المايك بتاعه. Yes.
يسود مصر.
ينسى محمد فارس. شو الناس اللي نايمة يعني. ناخذ سامر مثلا. Yes, yes. R equals. سامر خالد. A squared plus B squared. ماشي. طيب يوسف تامر complete.
Yes, square root of 8 squared plus 0 squared.
Plus 0 squared equal?
Equal 8.
Well, 8, because the squaring gonna cancel 0 طبعا. Squaring gonna cancel. Yes, it's 8.
8, yes.
Okay, the angle?
The angle...
how to find the argument?
10 A over B, صح?
Yes, tan theta equals B over A.
A over B.
B over A, okay. Y over X.
0 over 8, so it's 0.
What?
0 over 8, so it's 0.
It's 0. So what is the angle? أكيد quadrantal angle يعني موجود على الأكسس.
Yes, باي أو باي صح؟
Yeah, it's yes. يلا هات لي تاني inverse on the calculator of 0. 0, yes, 0 باي. لا باي. How pi? Pi gives what? Negative 1 and 0, so it's 0 over negative 1. Yes, it's 0. Yes, it's pi. And also what?
Yes.
Can we say
2 pi?
2 pi?
2 pi. Yes.
Can we say it's 2 pi? لا. مش ناخد ال 2 باي، هناخد الباي بس. تمام، ناخد الاقل يعني من ال 2 باي. Yes, yes. And then what's the right number يعني complex number in polar form representing only the 8? Z equal R.
2
اكتب الرول الاول R cosine. Yes,
sine
the angle which is what?
theta
plus I. Yes, sine what?
sine
theta. Yes. So what's the angle here? Okay, well, give me 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Continue. Yes, so what's the angle here? The angle is theta equals pi. Yeah, yes. Z equals, what's the R?
2.
Wow. The R. The R
cubic root of 8 صح؟
لا, still
okay,
it's a fifth number in polar form. It's 8. What? It's 8.
8. Yes.
Okay, and then cosine the angle. The angle is pi.
Pi plus I sine
pi. Yes, this is the number. This is the complex number 8 plus 0i written in polar form. So it's 8 into cosine pi plus I sine what? Sine pi. So now, what's the next step? Is to find all the cube roots of 8. So we have to follow the De Moivre's theorem. De Moivre's theorem, which is z to the power of k is equal to the nth root of r cosine
theta cosine
snapshot. This all over n, and here the angle plus
theta plus 360 into k.
360, or we are dealing with radians. خلاص, leave it as radians. So it's 2 pi. Well, it's better to do it with degrees. It's better and يعني faster and easier in calculations. So we know that pi is 180. 180. Yes. So it's 360k plus I sine theta plus
plus 360k over n
equals
the cubic root of 8. The cubic root of 8.
حلو جدا. The cubic root. Why? Because n is what? N equals to 8. N equals to 3. He said find the cube root. N equals, it's here. It equals to 3. The third root of 8 cosine. Let's start first when k is 0.
Yes. 180 plus 360 times
180 over 4. 180 over قصدي 3, which is 60.
لحظة.
Now k0.
k0 صح.
So it's what? 180 plus
cosine 60 plus I
sine 60. Yes, and this also will be 60. So my final answer is the cubic root of 8, which is 2.
2 cosine 6 cosine 60 plus I sine 60.
طيب طلع لي اكتبها بس كده. Yes, cosine 60 plus I sine 60. And now guys,
half.
لا ما تطلع خلاص, leave it like this. Okay, and then substitute when k is 1 and substitute when k is 2 and so on until you reach a value that is less than 360. And then he's asking you to write it in a rectangular form. You have to evaluate them and measure them. So let's continue this in the next period, the sixth period. Yes.
Just a question. How do you get cosine 60?
I just multiply here 360 by 0 gives you 0, and the angle is 180 divided by 3. 180 divided 360 cosine 60 plus I sine 60. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all, and see you inshallah the sixth period. And goodbye.